In the top stories, Tourism Minister announces cruise calls for winter season. Jamaican constable and controversial pastor dies in car crash. And France orders 50,000 doses of Merck's COVID-19 antiviral pill. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, October 27th. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, Minister of Tourism Honorable Lindsay Grant has announced a number of cruise lines that are scheduled to make a call to the Federation for the winter season. He was speaking during a Ministry of Tourism press conference held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort on Wednesday.
Our cruise line partners who have scheduled calls include Carnival Corporation, which includes P&O, AIDA, Holland America, Cunard, Carnival Cruise Lines, Princess, Seabourn, and Costa. The Royal Caribbean Group, which includes Royal Caribbean International, Celebrity, Silver Sea, Pulmator, and TUI. Viking Cruise Lines, MSC, Windstar, Crystal Cruises, and Star Clipper.
Minister Grant added that there are 27 calls scheduled in November and 51 calls scheduled in December.
We will receive 3 ships at Port Zante on November the 16th and again on November the 23rd. On November the 4th, the 10th, the 17th, and the 19th, we will have 2 ships calling on Port Zante. The Allure of the Seas, which is an Oasis class, is scheduled to arrive on November the 18th. In December, we are scheduled to receive 51 calls in December. At full capacity, we would have welcomed in November 71,775 passengers. And in December, 119,146 passengers in December.
He said that with the increased calls being made to the Federation, the Tourism Ministry, along with the Ministry of Health and the COVID-19 Task Force, has been working together to approve additional tours in an effort to improve the economic benefits of our local tour operators. Minister of Foreign Affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Mark Brantley, engaged his colleague, Her Excellency Dr. Marta Lucia Ramirez, Vice President and Foreign Minister of Colombia, in a diplomatic exchange in the margins of the 10th Italy, Latin America and the Caribbean Conference in Rome, Italy. Brantley said he was honored to meet Her Excellency Ramirez, a champion for women's rights and the first woman to serve as Vice President of Colombia. During the October 25, 2021 meeting, the diplomats discussed critical issues of bilateral and multilateral relevance to St. Kitts and Nevis and Colombia. The range of issues included climate change, climate finance, greater cooperation in security, culture and language, and a vision for a broader Caribbean, Latin American, and political and economic alliance. Colombia responded positively to requests for assistance with respect to airport security needs in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis established diplomatic relations with Colombia in 1984, and citizens of both countries enjoy a reciprocal visa waiver arrangement that allows for visa-free visits for up to 90 days. Violence and bullying, including cyberbullying, will be the topic of discussion on the radio and television program Working for You later today. The special guests will be guidance counselor at the Keon High School, Tracy Watley, and a student of Fairchilds High School, Glenica Richards Gavaya. The discussion will focus on a national policy in dealing with bullying, cyberbullying, and school violence, the impact of bullying and school violence on students, the role and responsibilities of teachers in dealing with issues of bullying and school violence, and how the school community can promote an anti-bullying climate, among other related issues. Working for You is broadcast live every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. on ZIZ Radio and social media platforms, as well as the Facebook page and YouTube channel of the SKNIS. Regionally, in Jamaica, a police officer and church leader, Dr. Kevin Smith, the man at the center of a police investigation into cult-like practices in Albion St. James, is dead. Both men died as a result of injuries sustained in a vehicular crash on Church Road in Linstead, St. Catherine on Tuesday morning. More in the CVM Live news report.
This is what's left of the unmarked police vehicle which embattled pastor of the Pathways International Ministries, Dr. Kevin O. Smith, and 3 officers were traveling in. The door of the vehicle had to be cut off to remove the occupants. Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay provides input.
2 vehicles were traveling to Kingston, taking the two suspects from St. James in the incident last week involving the church leader and another member. They were taking them to the Major Investigation Division in Kingston to be formally charged. About 9:30, we understand that there was an accident resulting in one of the vehicles overturning. That's the vehicle that Sir Kevin Smith was a passenger in. At the end of it, he sustained serious injuries and he was taken to the Linstead Hospital, where he was pronounced dead by the doctor on duty. The 3 constables that were in the vehicle with him, one of them was pronounced dead at the Spanish Town Hospital. The other 2 are in critical condition, and as we speak, they are currently undergoing treatment.
The officer has since been identified as Constable Orlando Arns, who was assigned to the St. James Police Division. The fatal accident occurred on Church Road in the vicinity of the Linstead bypass in St. Catherine. CVM Live understands that formal charges were to be laid against Smith, with several offences to include murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Smith has been in custody since October 17 after 2 of his congregants were killed in what is believed to be a human sacrifice ritual. SSP Lindsay responded to questions about the route taken to transport the suspects.
In a situation like that, I think the person who will be transported would make the best assessment of what would be the safest and the safest route. So as we know, it's an accident. We don't know exactly what transpired because all the persons were in that vehicle. None of them are able to speak. 2 are dead and 2 are unconscious and cannot speak. So we're still waiting to see if they'll recover so we can get a clearer understanding.
Meanwhile, Andre Ruddock, a member of the Pathways International Ministries, has been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of wounding with intent. He is to appear in court this week. Robianne Williams for CVM Live.
And finally, in regional news, a Brazilian Senate investigative committee approved a report that called for President Jair Bolsonaro to be indicted for 9 crimes related to his handling of the coronavirus pandemic, including crimes against humanity. More in this report.
A Brazilian Senate committee approved a report on Tuesday that calls for an indictment of President Jair Bolsonaro for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. It includes crimes against humanity and 8 other charges. The rapporteur of the report, Senator Renan Calheiros, said, quote, "The chaos of Jair Bolsonaro's government will enter history as the lowest level of human destitution." The more than 1,300-page report, which took the committee over 6 months to prepare, alleges nearly 80 other people and 2 companies committed crimes. Among those in the firing line was the governor of the interior Amazonas state, Wilson Lima, who's been accused of corruption related to the purchasing of medical equipment. Earlier this year, hospitals in the state lacked oxygen supplies, which resulted in deaths by asphyxia. A draft of the report originally called for Bolsonaro to be indicted for genocide and murder, but senators later decided to drop those charges. The president's press office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. It's unlikely he'll face any formal charges, as they'd have to be brought by Brazil's prosecutor general, a seat Bolsonaro appointed. The president has previously dismissed the Senate investigation as a joke.
Internationally, France has ordered 50,000 doses of Merck & Co.'s experimental COVID-19 antiviral drug for adults. The country's health minister, Olivier Véran, told a hearing at the French Senate on Tuesday. More in this France 24 report.
Alongside the vaccine, perhaps the best weapon against COVID-19. This orange capsule is molnupiravir, a medication developed in the United States by the Merck laboratory. France has already placed an order, even though the European Medicines Agency has not yet approved it. Delivery is expected within a month.
France moved very early on this. We have already placed a pre-order. 50,000 doses of this medication will be delivered to France.
The antiviral treatment is highly effective, according to Merck. Clinical trials show that molnupiravir halved the risk of hospitalization and death. It also has a significant size advantage. It's the first anti-COVID medication to be available in capsule form. It's reserved for patients who have tested positive but have not yet been hospitalized.
The vast majority of medications against COVID-19 are intravenous, which requires a hospital environment. This is a pill which you swallow. It's easy to use, it's easy to store and to distribute, which is extremely important.
The medication inhibits the virus from reproducing itself in the body, which slows down the disease.
Once you can directly attack the virus, you reduce the risk of the disease spreading. This is beneficial for both the individual and society as a whole.
The cost of the medication has not yet been specified in France, but the US government paid around €600 per dose. Merck says it has also begun testing on contact cases.
Nigeria launched the country's new digital e-Naira currency on Monday as Africa's largest economy looked to tap into the growing popularity of virtual money and cryptocurrencies. More in this Reuters report.
Nigeria on Monday became the first African nation to launch a digital currency, the e-Naira. It says the move will expand access to banking and help grow the economy by billions of dollars. Africa's biggest economy joins the Bahamas, which was the first to launch a general-purpose central bank digital currency. But experts say questions remain about the e-Naira, particularly over the consistency of the central bank's rules. The bank says 33 lenders, 2,000 customers and 120 merchants had already registered with the platform, which is available via an app on Apple and Android. And President Muhammadu Buhari said use of the currency could grow the economy by $29 billion over 10 years. Nigeria's young, tech-savvy population have eagerly adopted digital currencies. But official digital currencies, unlike cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, are backed and controlled by the central bank. Some say the central bank has not yet made clear whether users could transfer e-Naira back into traditional Naira, or whether they could use cryptocurrency to buy or sell the e-Naira.
And now for the weather. Present weather is fair with a slight dust haze. Winds are a light breeze of 6 miles per hour from the north-northeast. Seas are 1.2 to 1.5 meters or 4 to 5 feet. Weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis today will be mostly sunny. Tonight will be mostly clear. Sunset today will be at 5:42 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 6:08 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey.